Be about 1982. Walking around Arizona. Eating at a diner with that day's share. Get approached by some guy.
Hello, my name is Alan.
Had a weird feeling about him. But as someone who roams freely from state to state, you kind of have to be wary of anyone and everyone. Alan begins to talk to him as if they were old friends. Starts talking about some money-making opportunity. Red flags going off every which way. Either prostitution or selling drugs. Alan says nothing like that. Just a simple job where Eddie has to drive and drop something off. Yeah, definitely drugs, Eddie thought to himself. To humor the guy, Eddie asked how much he's willing to pay. Alan said, "How does 5K sounds to you? Just to drive something somewhere?" Yup. Not even a long drive, hour and a half, leave the package off, and we're done. Eddie tells me his red flags are at crimson at this point, but he still said yes. Alan tells him to meet him there in 2 days. 2 days pass and Eddie meets up where Alan told him to. Only thing there is a car and a note. "Hey, glad you came, payment is in the glove compartment, just promise me you don't check the trunk, okay? We'll know if you peek. Good luck, friend. And be sure to use all the money, don't want it going to waste." Eddie already knows this shit wasn't worth it, but a man doesn't go back on his word. Gets in the car, foul smelling thing, like it hadn't been washed after a big party. He says he may have even seen some mold on it, but he didn't care. It was only an hour and a half drive, so he can just drive with the window down. All through the drive he notices some strange looking people checking him out. Tells me this is during the time even though taboo, homosexuality really started getting more prevalent, at least from what he saw. Shrugs it off and continues to drive to the next town, says it was around but not in Tucson. Gets out of the car and waits. Waits for a few hours and nothing. Wonders where this guy is. Was about to go to the store for a cigarette when a car drove up.
"Hey, finally,"
Eddie said. Alan was not the one who came out. This very sickly man comes out. Nice suit, but he looked paler than white. You could almost see the veins in perfect detail. Eddie said. "You, Eddie?" Alan told us about you. He spoke as if he's never spoken before.
"Yeah, I'm Eddie. Alan send you?"
"Yes. You have. What we came for?" Eddie says the more he spoke the less coherent it sounded. Like he had only learned how to speak for today, but not enough to sound human. "Yeah, it's in the trunk," he said. The weird man gives him a strange smile, again like he'd never done it before. Everything he did was inhuman, like in nature. From the way he walked to the way he spoke, hell, even the way he breathed felt like he was born yesterday and got a cram session on how to be a human being. As the man began to walk towards the car's trunk, he looked again at Eddie. "You did not look at it?"
"Nope, it's all in there without a fingerprint on it."
As the man began to open the trunk, he made this disgusting noise. Eddie described it like as if he had an orgasm. Such a grotesque sound, even Eddie felt creeped out and had to ask,
"Hey, you okay there?"
The pale man almost at light speed turned and yelled, "You said you didn't see."
"What?"
You looked. The voice has now gone from a faint whisper to a shriek that hurt Eddie's ears. "What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't see anything, man." Fucking thing tosses a finger at him. A fucking finger. Eddie finally saw what was in the trunk. It was a person. Couldn't tell exactly if it was a male or female, could only see the top of the scalp. You keep looking. Eddie, now officially fucking scared, decides to try and walk backwards. The pale man now begins to walk towards him. "Hey man, I didn't do anything, alright, let's calm down." Pale man begins to run at him. Running at him. The thing that was so limp and lame looking now begins to run at him. Eddie says fuck it and tries to run off and hope he can get away. He begins running as fast as he can in any direction he can. Hopes he can at least make it to a gas station. He can hear the man running at him. He's too close to get away. Eddie finally knows it's either the pale man or him. Turns around and takes out his pocket knife. The moment he turns, the pale man is right in front of his face. Thing tackles him down and tries to gouge his eyes out. Shrieking at the top of his lungs. Eddie tries to stab it, but the thing is so much heavier than he looks, and the pale man landed on his arms, making him stabbing it harder than usual. Feels complete and total fear from this thing. Its eyes are fully black looking. Hell, even his face looks like it was getting paler.
"Is this where I'm gonna die? Is this thing human? Who the fuck is Alan?"
Finally he gets just the right angle to push the pale man off and is able to swing his knife. Pale man doesn't even flinch and lunges at him again. Eddie finally just lunges and feels the knife hit. Pale man now lets out a shriek even louder than before. This shriek is so loud Eddie actually felt his ears ring. Even after he felt his ears almost feel like they're numb. Pale man winces in pain and continues to shriek. It begins to run and doesn't even go near its own car. It just flees. Eddie watches it as it just runs away. The pale man is now just gone. Almost no trace of it. Eddie looks down at the floor and his knife. No blood. No fluid on it at all. It's bone dry like it was new. What the fuck? Finally Eddie looks at the trunk. He knows he shouldn't. But he goes to look at the body. He couldn't even tell it's a person. It's fucking mangled. Only thing he could identify is hair. But it's just all disgustingly murdered. But he could tell it was intentionally done. So no one could identify it and no one could report it. Eddie just books it to the nearest town. Goes to the local police in some place called Saddlebrook. Police tell him they'll look into it. Seeing how they looked at him, he knew that probably just thought it was a homeless man who went crazy. To this day he doesn't know what came of it since he left the town very soon after. All he knows is that he thinks he was a deliverer for some crazy ritual, or maybe some sick cannibal. He couldn't make heads or tails of it to the day he died. Even I can't really think of what it was. Maybe it was some weird governmental sacrifice or just a weird mob hit.
All I know was that's the last time I did anything for 5K.
Hello everyone, I decided to just tell this story now since I know I'll forget to write it down. This is from when I used to live with my friend at a house we rented for about 2 years. Moving around July. House always felt weird even when we just moved in. We chalk it up to just getting situated to a new place and shrug it off. Over the next couple of months things feel kinda off. Like looking at a crooked picture on the wall, kind of off. Then stuff starts moving. I do not mean moving as it you see it move, more like it gets misplaced somewhere it has no business being in. Remote control ends up in bathtub. Socks end up on kitchen table. Naturally we both end up thinking it's the other person just fucking around. We both try to ignore it but it only becomes more frequent. Was at one point only happening once a month, maybe twice. Now it's every 2 weeks. Then every week. We never once think it may be something paranormal. Mainly since friend isn't very big on the idea of ghosts or spirits. We continue to ignore it for some reason. I think at a certain point we just got used to the things going missing and didn't even tell each other it was happening. Still think it has to be one of us doing it but no one wants to fess up. We continue this non-existent game of chicken and go about our days. Fast forward to December. Comfy weather. Friend needs to go out of town for a week to visit folks during winter break. Fuck yeah, I get the house to myself. Start relaxing and suddenly get a weird shiver. That kinda shiver you get when someone touches your back. Makes me get out of my chair and wonder if it's just my shirt giving me a weird sensation. Decide to just forget it and make some food. Go to the kitchen and find my spare wallet on the table. Lost the thing over a week ago. Go to grab it and as I do something in the corner of my eye bolts. Too fast to get a glimpse but I know there was something. Roach? No, too big to be a roach. Rat? Same thing, way too big to be a rat. I go into the living room to see if whatever it was still there. Nothing. Strange, but maybe it was just me seeing something that wasn't there. Go back to make food and my day goes by normally. Next day I come home from work and notice that the TV remote has now been put on one of the ceiling fan blades. Okay, something freaky is definitely going on here. Try and pretend like I'm ignoring it but keeping a very close eye the entire time. Don't notice anything for the rest of the day again and say fuck it. Next day 3 things went missing. My keys, my wallet, and my security badge. I start panicking a little bit since I had work that day. Looking everywhere. High and low. Fuck, where are they? Suddenly I get a weird idea but decide it's better than no idea. Hey, whoever is doing that, can we not play this game? I could get in some serious trouble here. I walk into the living room and see the 3 items neatly placed on the couch. Holy shit. I grab my stuff and say thank you. A gentle coolness then came over the room, taking me by surprise since this was winter and the heater never went off. Take that as a you're welcome from whatever decided to play these pranks on me. As I begin to leave the house, I notice again something from the corner of my eye. But this time I see its head peeking ever so slightly from the corner of the hall. I made eye contact with this spirit. But I didn't say anything. Something about it felt calm, not a bad spirit by any means. Hey, I'll see you later. As I left the house, it dawned on me that I don't know why I said goodbye to the ghost. But it felt natural. Like I had done it hundreds of times. While at work I get a call from my friend, we can just call him Tyler. Tyler tells me he had to come home early since his mom and dad had accidentally booked a trip to Europe during the week he came to visit. Tyler said he's at the house and will see me there. Before I hang up, I hear Tyler say,
Hey Alan.
"What's up?"
Why did you leave shoes in the bathtub?
"Shoes in the bathtub?"
Yeah, I found your running shoes in the tub.
"I didn't put them there, Tyler."
Yeah, sure you didn't. I'll talk to you later, bud.
After we hung up, I went about my work day as usual. Around my final break at work, I get another call from Tyler.
Okay dude, what the fuck?
"What?"
You went into my closet.
"What?"
My fucking shirts are all over the fucking floor, dude.
"Tyler, I can't get in your room. You locked it with your own key, dumbass."
Then how the fuck are all my clothes on the goddamn floor, dude?
"Ask the kid that's there with you."
What fucking kid? Don't try and blame this on bullshit ghosts, you asshole. He hangs up in anger, and I kind of just laugh it off. As I'm leaving work, I get another call. Weird, but maybe he just wanted me to pick up some food or some shit. What's up, Tyler? Dude, what the fuck was that thing?
"What thing?"
That fucking white thing. It was fucking staring at me, dude, what the fuck?
"White thing? You mean the kid, right?"
I don't know what the fuck it was, dude, but it stared at me and I just fucking bolted.
"Did he do anything to you?"
That looked like a little girl, dude.
"What? The one I saw was like a boy, man. You're telling me there's two of these fucking things?" I kinda sit in my car a bit taken back. I tell Tyler to just sit tight and I'll see what we can do when I'm home. Get home and Tyler is in his room with the door locked. "Yo dude, it's me." "How do I know?" "I heard those things can mimic voices. I don't think being a pussy," and opens the door. "Start talking to him about what happened," said the ghost, kinda just popped out of nowhere.
I was just relaxing playing some games and I just saw this fucking thing poke its head from the corner of the room.
Said he noticed it but kind of just thought it was his eye playing a trick on him until he sneezed and turned his head the direction of the spirit and saw it with his full vision and just bolted from to his room. Tell him I've been seeing the same thing, only the one I saw looked more like a boy, with shorter hair, kind of like a military style buzz cut. Tyler told me the one he saw had a very distinct female hairstyle, almost like something out of the 90s. Tyler then tells me that it didn't even look like a kid, it looked more like a teenager. Hold the fuck up. A teenager? The one I saw was a kid, a little kid. Tyler's eyes almost bugged out of his skull.
And on, you best not be fucking with me, man, or he'll kick your ass.
Dude, I'm serious, the one I saw was a little boy. Tyler starts almost freaking out.
How the fuck are there two of these fucking things?
I kinda shrug and tell him to calm down. Look, just trust me when I say they may seem scary, but they are harmless. They haven't done anything to me nor you besides play a few petty pranks, so let's not worry too much, okay? Tyler finally relaxes and jokingly says we should call an exorcist.